title companies and closings for wholesaling real estate. It's Rick in here, and in today's video, we are going to go from a beginner's level on how to locate your title companies, how title companies actually work with wholesalers, and how to get you paid at the end of your closing from your title company. But before I get into it, do me a favor, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button to continue to receive the absolute best information on wholesaling available today. Title companies. Me and Zach get a ton of questions is, what is a title company and how does it work? So let's just start with the basics like you've never heard of this before. And I will walk you through, and by the end of this video, you'll have a firm grasp of how to deal with a title company, how to use a title company, and get you your first deal to take it to your bank account. A title company is simply, it's a company and they focus on title. So title is basically when you sell a property, there's a buyer and seller, and usually it is transferred by a legal piece of paperwork called the deed. This is known as the title. You'll often heard of it called the title chain, and the purpose of a title company is to make sure that the person selling the property is the actual person. They have to verify and authenticate them. And number two, make sure the person receiving the title is the person, in fact, that is being represented. And the main thing is number one, they're trying to prevent any type of fraud. Number two, they try to remain a neutral party. I'm going to explain to you why that's not always true. And number three, they facilitate the closing, meaning they look in all the liens, they make sure the taxes are paid up to date, and they make sure all the money is split appropriately, that the seller gets their proceeds, the buyer gets their deed, and everybody got a fair deal out of it. You still technically don't need a title company to close on a piece of real estate. The main reason people like using title companies is they are licensed and insured. They act as a neutral party to make sure the transaction's represented. And number three, they issue a thing what they call title insurance. And this is the key difference in using a title company, or if you were to go to the courthouse and just record the deed. They are in the business of selling insurance. That is their number one profit center. And how that works is when you are purchasing a property, say you spend $200,000 on a property, usually it's the most amount of money that person spent in their life, and they are nervous and they're scared, and they should be. So they invented this thing called title insurance. And basically it says if there's any defect in the title, if there's any type of fraud when this thing closes, that the title insurance will insure the buyer up to the purchase amount. In this case would be $200,000. In return, they will pay a premium, just like you pay your car insurance, just like you pay renter's insurance or anything like that. That's how title companies really make their money. I'm going to go through with you on the mechanics, but first, we are going to start out and basically talk about how to find a title company. And this is where you start. So you must understand, most title companies are geared for retail sales in real estate, meaning traditionally with a realtor, there's a realtor on each side, and this covers 95% of the transactions out in our market. We're looking for that other one that deals with the other 5%, cash and assignment of contract. How do you find these people? I would not walk into your traditional title company that you purchased your personal home through, because they're probably not going to be a good fit. The easiest thing to do is go on Facebook and look for investor groups and search under their title companies. They use the words investor-friendly title companies. I'm not a big fan of that. You want to find title companies that are familiar with working with investors and are very comfortable with cash deals. If they only do retail sales, meaning they work with realtors, you want to avoid them because they're not going to give you the level of service you want. Any type of Facebook group, anything on social media where you can find where a group of investors together and find that title company in your area that enjoys working with wholesalers just like you and me, and that's where you want to start. Number two, Rick, what kind of questions should I ask the title company? I did an entire video on it, but I'm going to break it down for anyone who's brand new in wholesaling and looking for that first title company. Number one, you want to ask them, do you work with investors? Ask the question just like that. Don't say another word, and listen to the response. The response will dictate if you are going to continue to talk to them. If they have a negative response to you, move on, find another title company. If they go into a little bit more detail, yeah, we like working with title companies, we just don't get a lot of them. The second question you're going to ask them, are you familiar with an assignment of contract? And just be quiet. And if they say, yes, we're very comfortable with it, then those two questions questions will literally guide you to a title company that you can work with. Now you know how to find your title company. You know the basic questions to ask them. So let's go through the mechanics of what the title company actually does for your wholesaling transaction so you understand it from start to finish. And I'm going to use this visual board here to help us out. Okay, so now I'm going to walk you through the mechanics of the title company and their role in your wholesaling transaction. So you have the title company. Put them right there. You're going to have the seller, and then you're going to have the buyer, which is going to be the cash buyer. Now, for simplicity, for now, you are going to be the cash buyer because you are the wholesaler, and your seller is the person selling the property. Okay? So the first thing you do when you go to the title company is you will give them your contract. So once you have a property under contract, here's your title company, and both of you have entered into an agreement. Okay? Number one, you got to get them a copy of your contract. And then you have to do the earnest money deposit. You have to tell your title company how much money you left for a deposit. So EMD stands for earnest money deposit. And guys, this is 100% negotiable. Don't ever let anyone tell you how much you have to leave for an earnest money deposit. When I first started wholesaling, I left a whopping $10, and I left like a $10 bill. But my recommendation is the least amount you would do would range between $100 and usually you can do like $500. Now guys, if you have a really good deal and they're requesting $1,000, remember, you can work with a cash partner to help you fund that deal. Remember, earnest money deposit's really not at risk if you do these contracts correctly, but you have to get the contract to your title company and the earnest money deposit. And from there, once you do that, once they have that, your title company's job now is to reach out to your seller and confirm the transaction. Okay? So you have to give them your contact information. And this is critical because it's going to allow you to confirm your deal with your seller. It puts your seller at ease and they know you're doing this legally and ethically above board and they feel much more obligated. Guys, make sure within 24 hours your title company reaches out to your seller. Now we have the seller and the cash buyer. The next thing they're going to do is what they do is they pull title. Okay? And let me put that word on there. And basically what they're going to do is use a computer and they are going to use people in their company to pull the title. And this is where the title insurance comes in. So they're going to go back and look at the entire history of that property from the day it was built. Now, if you have properties up in like the Northeast, it takes actually longer to pull the title. Here in Florida, it's a little bit quicker. And basically they're making sure every title transferred correctly. There's no quit claim deed. There's nothing crazy on it. And if there's any problems, it's up to your title company to deal with. You guys don't deal with it. Your title company, this is what you pay them for. They're going to do the work. They're also going to check for liens. And they're also going to check for taxes. Okay? Next question is, Rick, how long does it take to pull title? Sometimes it gets busy if the market's busy, but typically title is 7 to 10 days. Okay? So it's important you get your paperwork over to your title company so if they can run the title so you can find out if there's any issues sooner than later. Do not wait till the end, guys, because if you want to close it fast and get paid, it's critical that you pull the title. So once we've done that, they come back. They're going to issue what they call a title commitment. Okay? Here's a little secret. You guys don't need to read or understand title commitments in the beginning. Have your title company give it to you in layman's terms. Are there any liens? Are there any monies owed against the property outside what the seller told me? They go, no, Rick, you're good to go. Your title company will not move forward until you clear any of these issues up because they don't want to issue an insurance policy if they think there's going to be a claim. So guys, once they pull the title, everything's clear. Here's basically how it's going to go down. Okay? So if we move down here, so while they're running all this, you're out looking for a cash buyer So you can assign your contract. Okay? Assign. Okay? So you're actually not even selling the property, you're selling the contract. And this is the beauty of wholesaling, which really minimizes your risk, is basically when you have your new buyer here, they are going to take your place and your title company will do that replacement for you. It's called an assignment of contract. It's very simple. You can either do the assignment of contract yourself, we provide you the template, or you can work with your investor-friendly title company and they'll help you out with the process. So once we do that, is the cash is on this side. And what's the seller have? The seller has the deed. The deed's what gives them title to the property for the ownership. Okay? So what we need to do is exchange the deed over here, and then the money goes over here. And the title company, think about it as kind of the referee of the game. Their job is to make sure all this is done. And then at the very end, guys, they are going to do all the disbursements. They are going to make sure all the taxes and liens are paid. And guys, this is it. The title company just goes down. Now, in return, the title company has what they call fees. So basically, the seller is going to give the deed to the new cash buyer, which you assign through, and in return, they are going to receive proceeds for giving up the deed. The title company basically plays the referee in the middle, and at the end, they handle all the disbursements so you don't have to deal with it. They make sure all the taxes are paid appropriately, all the liens are paid off. They have title fees, and remember, title insurance goes to the buyer, which lets them sleep soundly at night because say they just paid $200,000 for the property, they want to know it's good. Let's go in. This is how a title company works. What I want to do is go in this next part and basically explain how title fees work for you. Okay, so now we're talking about title companies and fees. And basically you got two types of expenses on the HUD. Number one are basically what we call government fees. Okay? These are fees that go for recordings. So whenever you record a document at the courthouse, they charge you per page. Okay? We have property taxes. And they also have these crazy things. They call them documentary stamps. Sometimes they call them intangible tax. It's mixed in there. The thing is, depending on what state you're in, they have a bunch of different, basically, types of taxations. Remember, whenever it comes to recording fees or anything like this, these are fees set by our government. So your city, county, state, and federal. And a lot of people, these are not negotiable. They are set in stone. You cannot negotiate them, okay? So make sure you understand those and they're set in stones. Now, number two are the title company expenses. So your biggest expense is going to be title insurance. Now, title insurance is regulated by the federal government and they have to set and announce their fees. So it's charged per thousand. Every state's a little bit different, but you should know these fees because if it's a $100,000 house, like in my state, I know it's $700 of title insurance. And there's all sorts of little nuances to it. You can ask your title company, and a lot of them you can go online and actually calculate what this fee is. What you guys want to actually focus on, the title insurance is what the title insurance is, okay? Your seller's going to want it. And remember, when you're assigning these deals, you're not paying for it, so don't worry about it. The other part are basically title fees. Title company closing fees. Okay? And this is what they charge to run the title and all their administrative fees. Because remember, guys, they have an office, they have employees, they have rents, they have to do payroll. It's expensive to run these operations. They want to make up the fee somehow. Now, your question is, Rick, how much should I expect in title company fees? Listen, the more you do business, the more you'll figure this puzzle out. I've seen these fees anywhere as low as $500, and I've seen them as high as $3,500. Now, keep in mind, I can't cover every state because some of you guys have attorneys involved, and when you do attorneys, this has nothing to do with the attorney. But for you people with a non-attorney state, I like to keep everything under $1,000. Okay? That's what I asked for. Guys, here's the secret to this. This is all highly negotiable. You would be surprised how much they negotiate on these fees. The more business you do, the more wholesale deals you bring them, the more you can negotiate and figure out these fees. And guys, if you're using a title company that other investors are, this is the time to reach out to them and discuss. Have them bring a HUD and have you guys meet up and concentrate on the title company's fees. You want to keep your title companies honest. I want the same fees every time. I know these are going to be variable based on the purchase price, but a lot of these fees are set in stone. Guys, you have to demand it. When title companies get out of line on the numbers with me, I let them know. I try to work with them, and if they don't, I go get another title company. Do not wait till they hose you over the racks. I'm telling you, understanding that you have government fees and they're set, and the title company's fees, this is what you guys want to concentrate on it. My last piece of advice to you on title companies is to understand, try to get everything done in advance. And unless you want to show up to the closing to record a testimonial, if the closing's at noon, go at 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. in the morning, sign your paperwork. Guys, keep in mind, if you're doing an assignment, you typically don't have to sign anything. So this is kind of a no-brainer. The reason I don't want you to go to the closings, because if you talk to the new cash buyer and something gets misunderstood, you could actually wreck an entire deal. The whole purpose of a closing for any type of investor, especially a new wholesaler, is to make sure there are no surprises so your deal goes through. And guys, at the end, have them wire the money to your account. I know it's really cool to get a check and stuff, but a wire, it's going to cost you $35, but it's money well spent because that money is in your account. It's clear and free funds for you to do what you want. Guys, use this information to harness the power of a title company so you can become the best wholesaler out there. Guys, do me a favor. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. Tell me what you think. Do you now have a firm understanding of what a title company does and how you can use it to better your wholesale business? Guys, this is Rick Ginn, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.